It's horrible when a dog gets traumatized by another dog and loses all the happy-go-lucky nature that makes his personality. But after such an incident, wouldn't we expect a dog to be afraid and run away from other dogs? In this episode of A Dog's Soul, an impulse guide to your dog's feelings, we're talking about a dog who did exactly the opposite. So after a bite incident, she started to attack other dogs. And that's curious, so let's dive in, stay tuned, and have fun. Alright, we're talking about Sheila, a 6-year-old Labrador. She was a really friendly dog. With other dogs, with people, she was just a happy-go-lucky dog with a very chillaxed life for her and her mom. She was never over the top interested in other dogs, so no pulling towards them on leash or anything, no reactivity, no craziness. She was very well trained, no issues, a wonderful team player. And when I heard this story, this was really heartbreaking because one day on her daily walking routine, she got attacked by an off-leash dog out of the blue. She got hurt really badly, and now Mom noticed both her and Sheila getting tense whenever it was time for a walk. So the whole cotton candy, awesome world they had together was kind of destroyed within one incident. And that's such a shame. It's really, really sad, and it affected both of them. So Mom doesn't know the guardian of the off-leash dog, so she doesn't know if she could meet that dog again. That uncertainty creates a lot of anxiety for her, understandably, right? Because this is a shock moment. This is traumatizing not only for the dog, but also for the humans. So she said she wasn't sure if she could switch to another walking trail or if that was even necessary because it happened once within 6 years, so she doubted that this person lived in the area, and that's when she decided not to switch the walking routine because it would have meant a lot of juggling things around for both of them and would have made life a lot more difficult. So she started to do breath work and meditation to process her own trauma, and we can never forget that these things affect us too. Right? And our emotions affect our dogs and the other way around. So doing these things for herself was really awesome. So if you feel like you need something to get over whatever happens, and it can also be like somebody calling you names or something. That's what happened to me when I started with Sammy and his reactivity. People were really, really unfriendly in my neighborhood, and they called me very bad things. And I came home crying, and I needed to do things to process that as well. For me, it was the gym, but that doesn't work for everybody. So do whatever helps you deal with the situation. That helps you be there for your dog and help your dog deal with the situation, right? Be the strong rock for your dog. Alright, but Sheila could not just do meditation herself, right? Although she liked to join meditation time and just take a nap by Mom's side, which is really cute, I think. And Sammy does that too, so I love it. It's adorable. Tell me in the comments if your dog does that. It's really cute. And the thing is, Sheila was no longer comfortable around other dogs after this incident. Understandably, right? And at first, it was all dogs. But then Mom got into training and she worked her butt off. So it was only off-leash dogs and dogs on a long line or a flexi leash. And she would lunge and bark and growl and probably bite if she got the chance. So this is where it gets curious, right? What we would expect from a dog who got really hurt and is afraid of other dogs now would be that the dog runs away, right? Or tries to run away or hide or whatever. But aggression is the opposite, right? Not quite. a lot of dogs who know that they cannot run away, and they aren't dumb, right? They know they're on a leash. So they know they can't just bolt. And also, I mean, we cannot ask her, right? So this is speculation. But what could be happening for her is that the incident was very fast. So the whole thing, this whole trauma event happened very, very fast. And that might also contribute to her choosing aggression over flight. It might also be a gazillion other reasons. So this is just my best guess, right? The thing is, a lot of dogs who are afraid show reactivity. Reactivity, the most common reason for reactivity is some kind of or some form of fear or insecurity. And again, dogs aren't stupid. They know they're on leash. They know they can't just run away. Or some dogs even try. And they realize, well, I can't get away from this situation. I can't get away from this other dog. I only get closer to it. And this is getting more and more and more uncomfortable. So I try yelling at the other dog, and that works. So I'm sticking to that. And that's how reactivity develops, right? In a lot of cases. So Sheila is not the only one. But for her, it was kind of one day she was fine. The other day she was going berserk on leash. So it was not a slow development. It was one day to the other. Still, we cannot ask her, but we can help her. So let's see how we can do that. First of all, muzzle training. That might sound a little bit unfair to her because it was neither her fault, nor would she be able to defend herself with a muzzle. But one dog in 6 years means a lot of dogs who are actually friendly and who would become victims for no reason. So since she is a bite risk, muzzle training is kind of mandatory, in my opinion. Tell me in the comments what you think about that. But that's only one part, right? What's important for her is to get her confidence around dogs back up again and to connect dogs with positive emotions again. So what could be the first step is that mom starts rewarding her for looking at the other dog and looking away from the other dog, and then starts calling out the other dog. So she uses a catchphrase that she always says when there is a dog around, like, "Where's the dog?" And Sheila learns that whenever she hears that, there is a dog somewhere. So she can look around, see where the dog is, and get rewarded for it. What that does is it takes away the surprise. So Sheila will not just get startled by another dog when mom spots the other dog first. That's awesome, right? Because sometimes our eyes are high up. So in some areas, we can spot dogs before our dogs can spot the dogs. And what I see often is people trying to hide the dogs from their dogs, especially when their dogs are reactive and they kind of try to play a little game of hide and seek and, oh no, you don't see the dog, oh, there's no dog, blah, blah, blah. But what happens then is we get a startled reaction, and that is often more intense. So if we tell the dog, hey, there is a dog, we do that game we always do, right? The game that's fun and that feels good and that's actually helping. We can get a lot of training process a lot faster. So I like to do that rather than hiding dogs from my dogs. It depends, right? I mean, if there is really no time, or I know this is like the arch enemy of my dog and this won't work and whatever, or I see that we cannot control the distance and the other dog is like coming closer really, really fast, then yes, hiding somewhere is an option. But since in the beginning we are not training with uncontrollable other dogs, I'd pick the strategy where we actually call out the other dog. So this is one thing. The other thing is Sheila would have to relearn the polite behavior she had before the attack. So the things dogs do when they want to be polite to other dogs, like sniffing and walking in curves and stuff like that, right? And yes, we can teach our dogs to do that again. Since she had a bad experience with another dog, it might take longer than with an inexperienced dog, but she can learn it. She has done it before, so I'm sure she can learn it. And at first, I would pick her friends. She still has her buddies and she's relaxed with them, which is awesome. So I would start working with them. And whenever she's really fluent in the new strategy and in the whole technique, she has her polite behaviors again, all these things, we can switch to a controllable setting with new dogs and real life. So this would mean like a park with very strict leash laws that are actually obeyed. It's not like every park or every leash law is obeyed where I live, but there are areas where it's actually the case. So I would pick those areas, or fenced-in dog parks. Fenced-in dog parks have one advantage, and that's the dogs are contained in a specific space and you can pick the distance to that space. And also, if there is a parking lot there, you can work with the dogs arriving and departing from the parking lot. But there is always a chance of a dog running around off leash around a dog park. So it depends, really. That might be the next step for Sheila after the park setting works well. Now, how long this takes her, I cannot say. I cannot predict, because dealing with trauma is always unpredictable. We can never say how deep a trauma sits. We can never say how fast we can process a trauma and how fast our dogs can process a trauma. So this is something that might require patience, but it's definitely worth working on it, right? Not just because the lunging, barking, growling thing is a problem, but also because Sheila was such a friendly and easygoing dog. So getting her back to that state would be really awesome, right? So there is the motivation for training. And with that, I wish you a lot of fun training, and we'll see each other next time. Bye.